Build strength, muscle, and unlock insane body control in just your bedroom. Welcome to Calisthenics. In this video, I will be breaking down the foundations, sharing tutorials so you can skip the trial and error and start making actual progress. Kick back, relax, and probably save this video for later because there's a lot to cover. Every good workout starts with a warm-up. Even a 5-minute warm-up can drastically decrease the chances of injury and muscle strain by warming up the joints, performing some light stretching, and doing warm-up sets before your working sets. Like nearly every training discipline, calisthenics is quite heavy on the joints, especially the wrists and the shoulders. By performing some light movements, either body weight or with a band, you can drastically increase blood flow and mobility in those joints, preventing injury. By performing some light stretches, you can easily decrease the risks of muscle strain and even fatigue. By doing 2 to 3 warm-up sets before your working sets, you can help prepare your body for the intensity that it is going to go through, and can help detect possible injuries by feeling the discomfort under less intensity. Warm-up sets usually consist of an easier variation of the movement you are trying to prepare for, doing harder and harder variations to increase the intensity, like you would add more weight to a barbell to increase the intensity. Calisthenics is a training discipline with many realms, all of which have one thing in common: your foundational strength that come from your body weight basics. So before you go trying to make Newton your worst enemy, you need to build a foundational strength beforehand. These foundational movements can be sorted into 4 different categories: push, pull, core, and legs, starting with push, training your chest, shoulders, and your triceps. And our first exercise targeting these is going to be the classic push-up. Now, we're not in middle school anymore, and 5x30 is not going to get you a handstand push-up. Trust me, I've tried. Very quickly, hands shoulder width, core engaged, keeping a straight line, chest touches the ground, elbows at 45 degrees, and then pushing right back up. Perfect reps should look something like this. And if the standard push-up is too difficult for you, do it on your knees. Pause. For our next exercise, we have dips, which are significantly harder than push-ups, since instead of pushing about 60% of your body weight on that lever, you're pushing pretty much all of it. Also, unlike push-ups, dips actually require some equipment, either a pair of dip bars or a nice pair of stable chairs. Placing your bars or chairs just slightly wider than shoulder width, we want to keep a depressed scapula as well as a external rotation in the elbows, aka bringing your pit of your elbow forward. Keeping those form cues in mind, we want to lower down until our elbows are at around 90 degrees. This is considered full ROM, but you can go deeper if you want to. Then pushing back up into that same position. If regular dips are too hard, you can try negatives, band-assisted dips, or just stick with push-ups. However, be careful when using bands. Ow! What the fuck? Now we move on to the pulling basics. These will be working your back and your biceps. First of these exercises is going to be the classic pull-up. However, if you're hoping to be competent around a pull-up bar, you probably shouldn't take any advice from this guy. Initiate a firm grip, either shoulder width or wider. Then before pulling, go into an active hang with a depressed scapula. Pulling up, over the bar. Locked elbows, chin over the bar. Next, we have the basic bodyweight row or inverted row. With a wider than shoulder width grip, you can do these with either bent legs or straight legs. However, if you do them with straight legs, make sure you have an anchor. Before every rep, make sure to retract or pull back your shoulder blades before pulling the bar to your chest. Next, we have the core basics in order to build functional core strength and stability needed just about everywhere in calisthenics. Starting with the classic plank for basic core strength. A lot of people get the form of the plank wrong, so I don't want to see you slacking like it's 7th grade PE class. Starting off, we want to push our shoulders forward in scapular protraction, rounding out your back. Then activating your legs and your core, keeping your body straight. If planks are too difficult, try them on your knees first. If you can hold the basic plank for more than a minute, try making it harder. Next, we have the hollow hold for basic core stability. Laying flat on the ground, we want to keep our entire lower back flush with the ground. We don't want to arch at all. We can achieve this through minor spinal flexion, keeping your shoulders off the ground, squeezing your core, and then a posterior pelvic tilt. This is tilting your pelvis in towards your chest so you can properly squeeze your core. With these in mind, we can now lift our legs and perform the hollow hold. If the full hold is too hard, you can shorten the lever by bending your legs and then slowly increasing the lever. If the basic hold is too easy and you can hold it for more than a minute, try bringing your arms back or adding weight to your feet. And finally, we have leg raises for basic core compression. For this one, we actually want to get into the basic hollow hold position. However, instead of a static hold, we are going to lift our legs up in the air and squeeze our core. If the full leg raises on the floor are too hard, you can do them with your knees bent. If these are too easy for you, however, you can try putting your arms behind your head or do them from a supported position like a pair of dip bars or a pull-up bar. However, just because you train calisthenics, it doesn't mean you can skip leg day. However, just because you shouldn't skip it, it doesn't mean I'm gonna bore you with it. We've got squats, side squats, split squats, pistol squats, sissy squats, and dragon squats, which I do not have the flexibility to do, in order to build some functional, well-rounded legs. Once you have mastered these basics, we can further develop your foundational strength and proprioception by expanding the basics. And one of the best ways to do this is to utilize the 4 main methods of progressive overload, utilizing tempo, unilateral movements, weighted movements, and different grips. Controlling tempo means you can either slow down your reps or speed them up. Slowing down your reps creates a longer time under tension and exposure to the movement, which means you can perfect your form and build those smaller stabilizer muscles. By speeding up your reps, you can build those fast twitch muscle fibers responsible for making your movement more explosive. By adding weight with a weight vest or a weight belt, you can build brute strength by simply adding more weight to yourself. With unilateral exercises, you can target one side of your body at a time, making it significantly harder than using both limbs, until eventually removing the other limb entirely. By switching grips and hand placements, you can target different muscles with a very small form change. A wider grip, a closer grip, even changing the movement pattern can put more stress on certain muscles, making the movement harder. And once you are confident that you have built the foundational strength and body awareness, you can start training calisthenics skills. Skills come in varying difficulty, which means that your first skills to unlock will most likely be the beginner skills, starting with the L-sit. The L-sit is a relatively simple and achievable skill requiring strength in the hip flexors, the core, especially in core compression, and it makes you look like you're sitting on nothing. You can also do this skill on the floor, but it's a little easier with paired legs. Either way, when entering the L sit, you always want to enter it with straight arms and a depressed scapula. This will give you the most height in your L sit in order to raise your legs. And it's with this height that you lock your legs out and use that core strength to keep them off the ground. And for our next beginner skill, we have the elbow lever. But before we get into that, if you're looking for a proper tutorial for all of these skills and maybe even more skills, I do have a video right here that goes into more detail, including exercises, progressions, and more. The elbow lever is as simple as taking your elbows and placing them really low into your abdomen. Then either grabbing your parallettes or using the floor with your hands pointed outwards. You can simply lean forward, bouncing on your elbows until your legs just come off the ground. Once again, full tutorial in the description. Once you have unlocked these beginner skills, you're probably going to be hungry for more. Starting with the handstand. The handstand is a famous and incredibly impressive looking bodyweight skill, and is often the foundation to other skills such as handstand shapes, presses, handstand push-ups, and many more. If you're looking to unlock the handstand as quickly as possible, I'd recommend checking out this tutorial by me, including form cues, exercises, and everything that I wish I knew before starting my handstand journey. Every video and tutorial I have mentioned in the video so far will be in the description for you to check out, and if you have a question, feel free to leave a comment down below. And with that, your journey towards bodyweight mastery begins, and there's nothing that can stop you. Because in calisthenics, gravity is just a guideline.